Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Indices. Just before we start though, we've got a bit of an upgrade on our Elliott wave algorithm here. So what we've done now is we've added AI to our program. So it's very simple to use. So let me just try to get this in here. If I look at so QQQ Elliott wave analysis, and then just hit send. So it just depends on the questions that you ask that play out here for this. So it's just giving me a sort of a report on the Elliott wave for the QQQ here for this, you know. So then I can just ask things like it depends on how you you know, so obviously giving me a projection on that analysis there as well. So and then you might even say an hourly chart Elliott wave analysis on the QQQ. So it'll give me some sort of you know, analysis on the what's the name, and the, you know, do the Fibonacci and all the rest of it. So basically we've just added AI to this particular program. Okay, so there we go. So that's another step forward in the AI craze. Also too, I want to also just mention as well, in case you're not aware of it, this is the sector section here, but let me just get this page in play here for a moment. So we now have global indices here that will be updated. So we're covering these global indices now. And also too, becoming next over the next week, we're working on the Nifty 50 stocks. So the top I haven't got them all in here just yet, but I mean they're there, but we don't have the chart for them yet. So there'll be the top 50 stocks within the Nifty 50. Okay, a bit like the Aussies of top 50 here as well. So we're really building out a strong analysis section here. And of course, you know, as a member, you've got access to everything that we do. We don't divide things up because it's important. You know, markets are all connected to each other, and you know, you need to look at one market to find another and all the rest of it. Anyway, enough waffling. That's that. So come over to the S&P, but this is the SPY here, and this is an intraday chart. So just in a bit of a nutshell here, we'll have a look at the S&P in the bigger picture in a moment. But this wave 4 here, we're looking at 1 and 2, and then from blue wave 2 here, going all the way up, looking for wave 3 here, and then 4, and then 5, and then an ABC back for wave 2. Now wave 2 could come deeper here, and you can kind of see here, as I mentioned before, we can see the 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, but we're not really seeing the wave 4, this trend. I mean, we can see smaller wave 4s here, but we haven't seen this larger one here at this particular point. So that's where we are in the picture of it all. Obviously when the SPY opens, the market has pushed up, and NVDA was all about NVDA, so it will push up and make that high there, and then we can look into this wave 4. But the S&P would have moved along quite nicely, so we can have a look at that on the futures. So on the daily chart for the S&P, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and we're going up for wave 5. Now I need to talk about this a little bit because I like to talk about possible mistakes and so on. So we're counting this up in 2 ways here. We've got I'll just remove this here. So just as we had a look at on the SPY now, just then we were looking going up into this wave 3, 4 and 5 here on this. So it's the same here as well, the 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1 and 2, and then going up for 3, 4 and 5 up here to get to this primary wave 3 up here for this. Now, the other way that this could count is that we could view this as this wave 1 here, and wave 2 here, and wave 3 here, and wave 4 here, and wave 5 over to here, and bring this wave 5 down to here, and this wave 3 down to here, and then we've got a top in play there. Now, there's a couple of reasons that I wouldn't put that as my bias, but I couldn't rule it out either, because if that is a top there, then we would end up coming down here to this wave 4 here at that particular point in time. So that's a possibility that we can't rule out, and we'll need to be all over that. So all we need to do is we're not going to be trading in around here. We've got some long positions in the market, in various markets, but we're not interested in this blue 3 and 4, the blue wave 4. So we could trade this move up here, and then we're just going to observe this here, because if this plays out as expected, as a 1 and 2 here, then we need to, I don't want to short this, I just want to just observe it. I don't want to be emotionally occupied, so to speak, because we need to focus on this. I mean, in a nutshell, we will be looking to go long above the B wave here, but obviously we'll be looking at, you know, impulse waves here, and looking at a little classic trading levels pattern in here. And this is a classic trading level pattern within itself here at the, if you know the levels, this is all minor group 1. So a tested support on top of minor group 1 here would separate any pull to this number here, and then would be looking at the next number, the 5 up here for that. So getting support across this level here is critical for higher ground, and yeah, so we've got to work through all of that. So sorry to bore you to death with all of that. Now over to into the intraday move here. So picking it up from this wave 4, we've got this nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. Now the NASDAQ counts differently than the S&P on this one, and wave 2 over here. And yeah, so we're going up here to, let me just open this up here a little bit. Now different markets have produced different results around this area through here. So I think the NASDAQ has pushed up and made some highs here. This market hasn't done that yet, but we're looking at 3, 4, 5 here for 5. I can just remove that there and put this wave 3 here, and we'll put wave 5 over here with wave 1 here. So we're looking at this wave 4 here. Now this wave 4 will probably be a little bit complicated. Just give it an ABC here. We're not interested in this pattern across here, okay? We could be interested in trading this move up here to wave 5 here, and don't worry about any target areas that I'm putting this at, because we have to not worry about the target so much, but we have to count the 5 waves up here. That's our job. And then we get out. It's that simple. And then we'll be looking for a larger picture here as an ABC pattern here for this wave 2 over here. Okay, so that's where we're at the moment. So we've got some long positions here. I've put the stop just under here, just in case anybody wants to get out. You might want to, you know, go through all of this, or you may want to take part profit at the top here for this as well. So this is all going to get pretty messy in here, and I mentioned that before we got here, you know, so there's nothing new here at all. It's just all we need now is time. So coming over to the NASDAQ, and this is the QQQ here. It's the same thing, but slightly different count. In this case, we've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, and then we've got 3 and 4 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're quite close to getting in here. This should pop up into here, and then we can start the ABC for the wave 4 here. Now this is overlapping here on the intraday level. I don't think it's a big deal, but obviously it's going to upset some Elliott analysts. So we'll just look at this here as a ending diagonal coming into this space here to finish this off in one way or another. But anyway, I've got to pull it into the rest of the markets. But let's have a look at the NASI at the moment. So this is the weekly chart here, which is a different count to the upside here compared to the S&P. But at the same time, we're coming from this wave 4 and going into this wave 5 of primary wave 3 here. Now, this wave 3 could be higher up here as well, especially if we look at this being wave 1 up here coming back for 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll be up into group 1. This is 20,000. This is group 1 and group 2 here. So yeah, this market will be trading around, you know, the 22,000 and all that sort of stuff up there somewhere. So this is just, you know, a rough mud map on the back of a matchbox, so to speak. So anyway, our job now is to, you know, work this particular trend here. So we'll go to the intraday. I'm on 20k ticks here for that. So there's 2 different ways to count this up here. Our primary count is 1 and 2 in blue, and 1 and 2 here, and then 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So blue 1 and blue 2 to go up to blue 3, 4, and 5 up here. So this will be, that's already made the high, so that's good. So yeah, I haven't figured all that out yet, but somewhere up here for this, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And then we'll look at some type of A, B, and C here. I mean, this is like course from NVDA, I'd imagine, and NVDA will hit a brick wall at 1,000, of course, and vibrate above and below that level there for quite some time. There's, as one of our members pointed out to me, there's a lot of call options that will be needing to be sold there from market makers, we guess. But look, in a bit of a nutshell, we've got wave 5 and then this wave 2. So my interest in catching the next trend is way over here, and basically, you know, not to lose money, as we've been talking about for ages, in this section here. Now we could get a trade to the upside here on this wave 4 to wave 5 here, but we have to see if this particular pattern is nice and clean and tidy, then we can, because out of the 11 or 12 different types of corrections, they can all happen in wave 4. So, you know, it could be down here somewhere. Anyway, we'll just see what comes out of the gates. And if we can identify it quite clearly, then we can have a crack at that. But this is the one here. It's this one we want to work with, you know. So that's it really. So many of the other indices are kind of doing the same thing in their sort of own way. When we look at the Russell here, it may be that wave 3 here is already here, but if that was the case, we'd need to come up here and then down again as a wave 4 here. And that could also come down a little bit further here as well. So this needs to play a little bit further. If for whatever reasons this actually pushes up to here, then I'm more likely to bring the blue wave 3 across here and look at this as green wave 3 here and this wave 4 over here for this. And I can count, I've got the other count sort of tucked in here. I can see that I've got 2 count. As I mentioned before, it doesn't matter. It's all about the 210 and group 1 above and group 2 below. That's the swing range for this area here. And we're not really, once this all plays out here, we'll end up seeing this and then this here. And then this is where we want to be over here for this. So we don't want to be involved here. We've got some entry here. We can take that at 210. You can bring that down into 210 or a little bit higher or whatever. But, you know, yeah. I'm not sure if we've got green wave 3 top here, or this one needs to be over here on this. There's 2 ways to view it. So yeah, so nothing interesting happening there. Now the DAX here, once again, this is the daily chart here. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and this blue wave 3 up here, this market tends to follow the S&P. So if I bring the S&P back over here and just go to a daily chart here, or we're on the weekly, I can't remember, doesn't matter. Yeah, so this just here on this market here, you see this blue wave 3 here, that's the same as what we're looking for on the DAX here, this wave 3. But what we have to do is we have to get the DAX to this wave 3 here in the same time as we get to this wave 3 here. So in this case, looking at this as wave 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here, you know, that would be the path. That's our primary pathway for this. That means that this one here, I would have to look at this 5 waves up here as alternative wave 1 here and then coming back for 2 here, and then going for 3, 4, 5, going up around the 20,000. So there's two ways to count this move here. I've counted it very conservatively as 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third, and then the fourth here, and then the fifth up here. So that's quite a nice sort of count, really. And the reason that I've done it like that for in the first instance here is simply because this wave 1 here, I have to check the cash market, this wave 1 here is slightly longer than this wave 3 here. So that's a bit of an issue. So that means that wave 5 here needs to be smaller than wave 3 here technically, but I need to check that on the cash market. But it's just one of the little things. So so this has got to be worked out in different ways. Anyway, long story short, this particular little move in here is a wave 4. Now also when we think about this as well, this wave 4 for the S&P hasn't come into play just yet. So that means that this wave 4 here looks quite good as a little corrective ABC pattern, but it might just get a little bit more complicated like this here. That's what sort of concerns me with this. So that would be in line with the S&P at that point. So if I go into the into this chart here, the intraday chart here, so we've started to have this correction, but I've got wave 3 up here, and I'm thinking that the S&P needs to go a little bit higher. So I'm thinking something like this here. I think something we're going to get something a little bit more complicated with this here. I don't think this has got the time, based on the S&P's move, to go all the way up here. I think it's going to come up to here somewhere, and then we've got to kind of look for some type of, you know, maybe ABC pattern down here as well in all of this. So this is going to get a little bit more complicated. These long trades we've got here, we can protect here. We've taken part profit here. Once again, we want that 5 and then 1 and 2 over here to, you know, go long again over here. So when we don't need to do anything here at the moment, there's nothing to do. You can take, I think we've mentioned this before, we can take more money off the table over here on this one, but we'll try to trade this up here. But yeah, this has got to kind of tune back in with the wave count for the S&P as well. So we come over to the FTSE. I won't go into the bigger picture here at the moment. There's two things here. We can either look at this wave 3 over here, which is starting to look like the case, and wave 4 here. And yeah, so we're at the 38.2%, whichever way we want to sort of view this here. But if the S&P is going to go into more of a count, then this count here can get a little bit more complicated as well. So I'm not going to call in any trades on this. I'm just going to wait to see how this gets played out here as well, because it's not that this follows the S&P, it's more likely to follow the DAX and the stock 50 and stuff like that. So another little push up here in sort of 3 waves, and then another move down here, and then this, and then this. So we're not far off. They're kind of tuning into each other, but we're just not interested in it at this particular point in time. Okay. Yeah, so this, I reckon this will come down and we'll get some sort of little low below this here for this. So nothing really to do at this point for the FTSE. And then we come over to the Australian market, and this is a daily chart here, and we've got this wave 2 down here, and then we've got this wave 1 up here, and this wave 2 here. Now there's also, I won't go into it too much, but there's also the possibility of looking at this as wave 4 here. And the reason for doing that would put us in line with the S&P 500. So it's not such a silly move, but I won't go right into it now. But as a 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, that's okay for the time being. So we're working this move to the upside here as wave 1. So what we can do here, we've got wave 1 and 2 here. We could put wave 3 here, and we could put wave 4 down here, and this could also get more complicated. But today, if this pushes up here and makes a new high here, we're going to put that wave 3 across there, and then it'll be in line with the S&P at that point. Okay, and then we can look at this being complicated, and then we can get this, and then we can get the reaction from that big number 8 there and come down, and then we'll be like this here. Now, all of this here is very much like the banking sector. So this is Combank here, our leading bank. So we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. There's wave 1 and 2. I think Shane did, let me just check here on the Australian charts here. I think he covers VAS. I think I saw that yesterday. Just have a look at, this is just the top 300 ETF here. So this is, yeah, so he's got wave 1 and 2. He's going up for wave 1 here as well on that, and this is the bigger picture here, so correct. I mean, on the XJO, I think this might have been the top here on the XJO, not that it matters that much, but 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, and then this move here, so that's the weekly chart, and this is the daily chart for that. So yeah, so we're on track here. I'm just trying to see if I can count that in a different way. I mean, I can count it in a different way, but it still doesn't. It still gives me this 5-wave structure here. That's the important thing. And this wave 1 here, so we can clearly see we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and we need to push up here a bit higher for this. So Shane's on track there for that. So that's excellent. Very lucky to have Shane. Very lucky to have all our analysts now. So we've basically built up to 8 analysts now. Now that we're bringing the Indian market in, and we hope to continue to create other markets and more analysts, and yeah, we want to be the best, not the best, I don't know about the best, we want to be the best value Elliott wave service on the planet. That's my aim, and we're certainly heading in that direction in terms of price points. Okay, so let's just go back to this here and go into the intraday on terms of the intraday count here. So we've got wave 2 or 4 here, as I pointed out before, but I haven't really explained wave 4 in this video. I have done it before, but we will do it again. 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2, and 3, 4, and 5 up here. Now I can see a count here where I can have 1 and 2 here, and this wave 3 here can be over here for this. I can see that. Now if today and tomorrow this just pushes up here and makes a new high here, then I will do that, and then we'll bring wave 3 across here, and then we'll have wave 4 across here. Now if it doesn't make a new high today, then we'll leave this here, and then we'll have to put wave A here, wave B over here, and then wave C over here for this wave 4, because we need time on an intraday basis for those bigger markets around the world to top out and come down and do their correction, and then move off up into this wave 1 of 5 over here. So there's a couple of ways that this could sort of play out here. So when I see that it's all complicated and I don't really know the Elliott count right down to a T, then I just go to the trading levels, and the trading levels here are that this is minor group 2 here, 65, 72 and 80, and we can clearly see that, you know, it was the resistance in this small space, and now it's become the support here. So it's basically a game between that level and this, whoops a daisy, and the 8,000 up here. That's the ping pong game at this point, right? So what we want to do is not to get caught up in that trap, and the only way really to do that is not to trade unless we can see something that's obvious, and we need to get on the other side. So the other side would be the other side to this 5-wave structure here into a 3-wave structure over here, some ABC pattern which will find support over here before moving up. So we don't want to get involved in any of this at this stage unless we can clearly see we've got the wave 4 in play, and then we could roll up to here. Now we do have a long trade in here, so that can be taken out, you know, anywhere into new highs here. So yeah, we'll just need to take a little step back and look at that support and that resistance, and understand what's going on, and that this trend and other trends around the world haven't quite topped yet, but they're in wave 4s, and they could be in blue wave 4s, or they could be in green wave 4s at this point. You know, so that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.